For the 7th year in a row, milk production in the United States hit an all-time high last year. In most industries, this boom would translate into market growth. Does it in the dairy industry? Grab a cup and join us for Coffee with IDFA. Here to help us understand the opportunities and challenges facing the U.S. dairy industry is IDFA's CEO and President, Connie Tipton. Connie, welcome to Coffee with IDFA.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to be here. Now, about a year ago, the Innovation Center for U.S. Dairy did some remarkable research about global markets. And you've said that it's some of the most exciting research you've seen in your 29 years in the industry. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what it means?
Absolutely, Peggy. There were two big things that report showed. One, there's going to be a supply and demand gap, so that there's going to be more demand for dairy than there is supply. And the second thing that's really exciting is that it showed the U.S. dairy industry was the #1 market that could fill that gap. So we've got a lot of opportunity.
Well, this is exciting, but it sounds like there actually might be a but there somewhere. Are there barriers to opening up this growth opportunity?
Well, our biggest problem, no question, has been volatility in our markets. And all commodities have volatility. We just don't have the right policies to deal with it. We've got to buckle down and take a look at all of our policies and get them headed in the right direction so that we can manage our own price volatility and do a better job. One of the problems when you have prices that swing high and swing low, of course, on the low hand, as we saw last year, the farmers were really hurt. On the high end, you end up with people switching to other ingredients. So if you formulate a product using a dairy ingredient, you might move that dairy product down and move something else up to fulfill the taste. So we lose on both ends of it.
I see. Now, in the industry, there have been two approaches that have surfaced for how to deal with price volatility. Could you share with us what they are and sort of...
Sure. Yeah, one thing you can do, clearly, is try and do a market-wide sort of management of it, and Canada is the best example of that. They have a quota system, so they manage their supply and thereby get a higher price. But the problem with that is it's a declining market. You cut off any possibility for growth, and of course with this opportunity globally, we would cut off any opportunity to fulfill that new demand. The better way, I think, is to let each and every farmer and business person manage their own volatility. And again, we just need to get the policies out of the way and the right tools so we can do that.
Okay. And this is a loaded question, but so what are some of the right tools you'd like to see on dairy policy?
Well, I think first and foremost, we really need to have a better safety net for our producers. If you don't have a healthy dairy production sector, you can't have a healthy industry. So we have a price support program and we have payment programs that have been on the books for a long time, and they just don't work anymore. We found that out last year. I'd like to see us replace that with some sort of a margin insurance. So even if your price is high but your costs are still way up there, you're still squeezed on that margin. So if we could address it from the standpoint of margin, I think the producer segment would be much better off. We also need to look at our federal order program. Managing the price through that restrictive program actually, I think, contributes to our volatility. That needs to be streamlined and simplified, and then we need the risk management tools so people can actually go in and manage that price volatility.
Okay. And what do we need as an industry? What do we need to do? What are our next steps to try to make some of these changes a reality?
Well, you need urgency to get everybody to come to the table. And if we don't have urgency after the swings of the last couple of years, I don't know when we'll ever have it. And then, of course, you need to try and find enough consensus so you can actually move this forward and do what the industry thinks is best for itself, rather than turning it over to the politicians to try and figure out what's best for us, because they're not very good at that.
So we need to kind of take our own future in our own hands.
Absolutely, absolutely, and there's a lot of work being done to try and do that.
Are you optimistic?
I am optimistic. I think this is the first time ever that we've been this close to finding a package of reforms that can actually work for the industry and help us get to this goal of globalization.
Great. May you live in exciting times.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Connie. This has been very, very helpful to help us understand kind of where things are, and appreciate you spending some time with us here today. And thank you, too, for taking your time and having a cup of coffee with us here at Coffee with IDFA.